Extreme heat waves sweeping over the country, making life of commoners miserable. Met Office extends nationwide heat alert for 3 more days. Prime Minister Sheikh returns home tomorrow, wrapping up her 6-day official visit to Thailand. Awami League and its associate organizations pay rich tribute to martyred Sheikh Jamal, son of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, marking his birthday. BNP leaders wearing goggles cannot witness country's development. BNP should be ashamed following remarks by Pakistani Prime Minister over development of Bangladesh, says al-aqsa. Government has no plan to import sacrificial animals as the country has 1 crore 30 lakh cattle, says Fisheries and Livestock Minister. US administration is in pressure as pro-Palestinian protests continue at universities across the country. And BCB announces 15-member squad for first 3 T20 match series against Zimbabwe. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is News at 10 on BTV and BTV World. I'm Imtiaz Siddiqui. You just heard the headlines. Let's move on to the details of those and other stories.
ভিক্ষুকের জাতের ইজ্জত থাকে না, বেশি ভিক্ষা আমি করতে চাই না। সেই জন্য তোমাদের দ্বিতীয় কাজ হবে প্রোডাকশন বাড়াও।
The Meteorological Department has extended heat alert for 3 more days. Due to the ongoing heat wave, the Meteorological Department has so far issued heat alert for 5 times. Meanwhile, the scorching heat has been disturbing public life across the country. The entire country has been experiencing heat waves since the first week of April, and Chuadanga in the worst hit with 42.7 degrees Celsius, the highest in the country in this season. In Dhaka, the highest temperature was recorded at 40.4 degrees Celsius. The Meteorological Department says the heat wave will be tamed after rain in first week of May. Prime Minister Sheikh will return home from Bangkok tomorrow, wrapping up her 6-day official visit to Thailand. Prime Minister's press wing sources said the Prime Minister is scheduled to depart Bangkok tomorrow morning local time. Sheikh reached Bangkok on April 24 on both bilateral and multilateral visit on the invitation of her Thai counterpart, Srettha Thavisin, to strengthen the bilateral relations between the two countries. During her visit on April 26, the Bangladesh Premier held bilateral talks with Thai Prime Minister Thavisin, where 5 bilateral documents were inked to boost bilateral ties between the Southeast Asian and South Asian countries. The Prime Minister also attended the 80th session of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific and delivered the address. Besides, during the visit, the Prime Minister paid a courtesy call on the King and the Queen of the Kingdom of Thailand. Speaker Dr. Shirin Chaudhry said Bangladesh would graduate to a developing country from a least developed country by 2026 and a developed smart one by 2041. She said the workers keep the wheel of the national economy moving. Therefore, a worker-friendly environment has to be created for the workers. The Speaker said this while addressing a function marking the National Occupational Health and Safety Day in Dhaka today. Presided over by Labour and Employment Secretary Mohammad Mahbub Hussain, the function was also addressed by Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Labour and Employment Ministry, H.M. Ibrahim, and State Minister for Labour and Employment, Mohammad Nazrul Islam Chaudhry. ILO Country Director in Bangladesh, Tuomo Putiainen, Jatiyo Shromik League President Nur Kutub Alam Mannan, and Bangladesh Employers Federation President Adarshir Kabir. Quoting the theme of the National Occupational Health and Safety Day, Healthy Workers, Decent Work Environment, Build Smart Bangladesh, the Speaker said all will have to take concerted efforts to build a smart Bangladesh under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The 71st birthday of renowned freedom fighter Sheikh Jamal, second son of father of the nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Rahman, was observed today. Born on April 28, 1954 at Tungipara in Gopalganj, Sheikh Jamal did his matriculation from Dhaka Residential Model College and intermediate from Dhaka College. He was also under house arrest along with his other family members during the Great Liberation War in 1971. Later, Sheikh Jamal fled from their Dhanmondi residence and joined the Liberation War. Jamal was a noted sportsman. He was also fond of music and used to play guitar. On August 15, 1975, Bangabandhu Sheikh Rahman, the country's architect, with most of his family members, including Sheikh Jamal, was assassinated by a group of disgruntled army officers. Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Abdul Qadir said leaders of BNP don't see the developments of Bangladesh due to goggles on their eyes. BNP should be ashamed of the comments of Pakistani Prime Minister who lauded Bangladesh's development and progress, he added. Abdul Qadir said this after paying tributes at the Barani graveyard in the capital, marking birthday of Bangabandhu's second son, martyred Sheikh Jamal, today.
পাকিস্তানের সঙ্গে তো প্রীতি তাদের, বন্ধুত্ব তাদের, সেই পাকিস্তানও আর বাংলাদেশের উন্নয়ন দেখতে পায়, একসময় বোঝা ভাবতো, এখন লজ্জিত হচ্ছে। এতে রিজভিদেরই লজ্জা পাওয়া উচিত, কারণ তারা বাংলাদেশের উন্নয়ন দেখতে পায় না, কালো চশমা পরে।
The minister said there was no influence of any foreign powers in the 12th parliamentary election. Jatiyo Party has to make it clear as to what forced them to take part in the polls, he added.
আমরা কোনো চাপ অনুভব করিনি। তিনি কোন কারণে কার চাপে ইলেকশনে এসেছেন সেটা তাকেই পরিষ্কার করে বলতে। বঙ্গবন্ধু কন্যা হত্যা, ষড়যন্ত্রের রাজনীতি, এই রাজনীতি বাংলাদেশ থেকে তিনি নির্মূল করেছেন এবং তার নেতৃত্বে এদেশে স্থিতিশীলতা ফিরে এসেছে এবং উন্নয়নের অগ্রগতির অর্জনের রাজনীতি শুরু হয়েছে।
Earlier, homage was paid at the grave of Sheikh Jamal, marking his 71st birthday and at the Banani graveyard. At first, homage was paid on behalf of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Later, on behalf of Awami League, its General Secretary Abdul Qadir, along with central leaders, paid tributes to Sheikh Jamal. Later, Dhaka Metropolitan North and South units of Awami League, Jubo League, Krishok League, Motshojibi League, Shechhashebok League, Mohila Awami League and other associate organizations of the party paid tributes at the grave of Sheikh Jamal. Special dua and munajat was offered at the Banani Graveyard Mosque, seeking eternal blessings for Sheikh Jamal's departed soul. Awami League Joint General Secretary and Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood called upon all countries to take legal steps following its own law if anyone living abroad spread propaganda against Bangladesh. He made the call while inaugurating the office of Awami League Austria unit at Austrian capital Vienna today. Presided over by President of Awami League Austria unit Hafizur Nasim, the function was also attended by General Secretary of the organization Mizanur Rahman Jamal and President of All European Awami League M. Nazrul Islam, among others. Addressing the program, Dr. Hassan Mahmood said, Bangladesh is now moving towards development with a great speed under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. An anti-independence evil force living in Europe is spreading propaganda and conspiring to halt this development journey, he added. Calling upon party leaders and activists to be more vocal over the issue, he also urged immigrants to send remittance legally. The Foreign Minister reached Vienna this morning to attend an international conference titled Humanity at the Crossroad, Autonomous Weapons System and the Challenge of Regulation. Finance Minister Abul Hassan Mahmood Ali has urged the Islamic Development Bank to increase financing for the ongoing development process of Bangladesh. Attending the annual meeting of the bank in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, the finance minister said Bangladesh has shown success by properly utilizing the allocated money for poverty alleviation and development. Fisheries and Livestock Minister Abdur Rahman has said 1.30 crore sacrificial animals are ready for Eid al-Adha in the country. Animal import will not be allowed for the upcoming Eid. The demand will be met with own production. The minister said this at a press briefing at the conference room of the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock at the Secretariat today.
আগামী কুরবানি ঈদের সম্পূর্ণ প্রস্তুতি আমাদের রয়েছে। এই গবাদি পশু আমদানি করবার কোনো কারণ নেই, কোনো হেতু নেই। আমাদের দেশীয় উৎপাদিত যেই গবাদি পশু খামারি ভাইরা করেন, আমাদের মন্ত্রণালয়ের উদ্যোগও হয়, সেটির যথেষ্ট কোনো অপ্রতুলতা নাই। মানে আমাদের প্রয়োজনের তুলনায় আমাদের আয়োজন, আমাদের ব্যবস্থাপনা সবকিছুই ঠিক আছে।
And now international news. Hundreds of students have been arrested across universities in the United States as protesters continue to demand a ceasefire in Gaza and divestment from companies enabling Israel's nearly 7-month war on the Palestinian enclave. Police were out in full force on college campuses on Saturday, some using chemical irritants and tasers to disperse the students as more universities witnessed protests against the continued bombing of the Gaza Strip and seeking an end to U.S. military assistance for Israel. What started at the Columbia campus has turned into a nationwide showdown between students and administrators over pro-Palestinian protests and the restrictions on free speech. In the past 10 days, hundreds of students have been arrested, suspended, put on probation, and in rare cases expelled from colleges including Yale University, the University of Southern California, Vanderbilt University, and the University of Minnesota. A few universities had to cancel graduation ceremonies, while others have seen their buildings occupied by the protesters. Meanwhile, Israeli attack on Gaza's Rafah kills at least 7 Palestinians, taking the death toll from another day of relentless bombings to 27. At least 10 of the victims are children. At least 34,388 Palestinians have been killed and 77,437 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7, 2023. Former U.S. President Donald Trump continues to hold an advantage over President Joe Biden as the campaign and the former president's criminal trial move forward. Opinions about the first term of each man vying for a second 4 years in the White House now appear to work in Trump's favor. According to a poll conducted by SSRS, 55% of all Americans now say they see Trump's presidency as a success, while 44% see as a failure. Assessing Biden's time in office so far, 61% say his presidency thus far has been a failure, while 39% say it has been a success. Meanwhile, 92% of the Republicans call Trump's time in office a success, while just 73% of Democrats say Biden's has been a success so far. Among independents, 51% say Trump's presidency was successful, while only 37% see Biden's as a success. The Russian President Vladimir Putin's forces have made further gains in at least 3 locations along the eastern front in Ukraine, including for the first time in several months an advance in the northern Kharkiv region, highlighting again Kyiv's need for ammunition and weapons from the United States and the other allies. The latest developments reflect the new tempo on the battlefield since the fall of the industrial town of Adviivka in February. For the Ukrainian perspective, the losses are also being accompanied by more public expressions of criticism of the armed forces over the military's official battlefield updates. Ukraine's Deep State Monitoring Group, which updates daily changes in the frontline positions, shows Russian forces pushing forward in 8 different locations along 20 to 25 kilometers of frontline in one 24-hour period. 20 soldiers have been killed in an ammunition explosion at a military base in Cambodia. Prime Minister Hun Manet said he was deeply shocked at the blast in the country's southern Kampong Speu province on Saturday. No explanation has been given for the explosion. Cambodia's army said the incident was a warehouse ammunition explosion that destroyed a truck fully loaded with weaponry. An office building as well as a nearby barracks were destroyed, with 25 nearby homes affected. 5 people were killed and 33 others injured by a strong tornado that hit Guangzhou, the capital city of South China's Guangdong province, yesterday. Authorities said the tornado was of level 3 intensity, 2 levels down from the highest intensity level of 5, and that it moved in a distance of about 1 kilometer. 141 factory buildings were damaged, but no residential houses collapsed. Earlier in the week, torrential rains in Guangdong triggered once-in-a-century flooding, leaving 4 dead. And now sports news. Bangladesh Cricket Board (BCB) has declared 15-member squad for the first 3 made a return to the national fold after a gap of 18 months. The other members of the team are Captain Najmul Hussain Shanto, Liton Kumar Dash, Tawhid Ridoy, Mahmudullah, Zakir Ali Onik, Sheikh Mahdi Hassan, Rishad Hussain, Taskeen Ahmed, Shariful Islam, Tanzim Hassan Shakib, Parvez Hussain Imon, Tanveer Islam and Afif Hussain. The 5-match T20 series will start at Zahur Ahmad Chaudhary Stadium in Chattogram on 3rd May. The 2nd and 3rd match will be played at the same venue on 5th and 7th May. The 4th and 5th T20 matches will be held at Mirpur Sher Bangla National Stadium in Dhaka on 10th and 12th May. Indian women's cricket team defeated Bangladesh by 44 runs in the first T20 of the 5-match series in Sylhet. India won the toss and elected to bat first at Sylhet International Cricket Stadium. They scored 145 runs for 7 wickets in their stipulated 20 overs. Yashtika Bhatia scored 36, Shefali Verma 31 and Harmanpreet Kaur scored 30 runs for the team. Rabia Khan bagged 3 wickets, while Marufa Akhtar bagged 2 wickets for Bangladesh. Fariha Trishna and Fahima Khatun took 1 wicket each. In reply, Bangladesh girls managed to score 101 runs for 8 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti scored the highest 51 runs for the team. Renuka Singh of India, who took 3 wickets for 18 runs, was adjudged the player of the match. Bangladesh women's cricket team tailed by 1-0 in the series. To end the bulletin headlines once again. Extreme heat waves sweeping over the country, making life of commoners miserable. Met Office extends nationwide heat alert for 3 more days. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina returns home tomorrow, wrapping up her 6-day official visit to Thailand. Awami League and its associate organizations pay rich tribute to martyred Sheikh Jamal, son of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, marking his birthday. BNP leaders wearing goggles cannot witness country's development. BNP should be ashamed, following remarks by Pakistani Prime Minister over the development of Bangladesh, says Obaidul Qadir. 1 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 Government has no plan to import sacrificial animals as the country has 1 crore 30 lakh cattle, says Fisheries and Livestock Minister. US administration is in pressure as pro-Palestinian protests continue at universities across the country. And BCB announces 15-member squad for first 3 T20 of 5-match series against Zimbabwe. And that's the end of the news. Thank you for being with us.